Hey everyone, Skull 902 here, and in just a few hours, we're going to be starting our annual Extra Life Game Day charity event to raise funds for Beaumont Children's Hospital in Royal Oak, Michigan. I'm very excited for this, and we're looking to bring you some fun and excitement through the power of gaming here today for a great cause. Now, you may be wondering, if we're starting here in a few hours, what are we doing here right now? Well, consider this a preview, an opening ceremony of sorts for the event. I'm here with a very special guest. This is Hannah Goodman, the Children's Miracle Network manager at Beaumont Children's Hospitals, who's basically like the organizer, the leader of sorts for the Extra Life Detroit Guild, which I'm very happy to be representing here today. Hannah, thank you so much for taking the time out to speak with us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, and thank you for participating in Game Day and raising money for our kids at Beaumont Children's.
Absolutely. It is an honor and a privilege to be able to do this every year. So, Hannah's here today to explain to us what your funding here goes toward exactly, why it's important, how it helps, et cetera, et cetera. So, Hannah, you have the floor. Please do explain what this is all about.
Awesome. Yes. Thank you again for having me here today. I think it's really helpful to be able to actually explain where the funding goes, because I know sometimes a lot of the time people really want to know where is their money going. And what's great about donating to Extra Life is that you know that your funds are staying local in your community. Everybody has the opportunity to choose their Children's Miracle Network hospital of choice. Many people in Detroit choose Beaumont Children's because Beaumont Children's is the Children's Miracle Network hospital in Southeast Michigan. And saying that, I'll take a step back and just briefly explain what Children's Miracle Network is and how it relates to Extra Life. So, Extra Life is a program under the wing of Children's Miracle Network Hospitals, which is a national organization. It's a network of children's hospitals, nonprofit children's hospitals, who work with CMN or Children's Miracle Network to fundraise for pediatric needs at their hospitals. Um, so there are 170 children's hospitals throughout North America and the US and Canada that are a part of the Children's Miracle Network of hospitals. And like I said before, Beaumont Children's is the Children's Miracle Network Hospital in Southeast Michigan. It's all kind of geographically broken up into what CMN calls markets. So we are the Detroit market that supports Beaumont Children's. There are actually 4 Children's Miracle Network hospitals in the state of Michigan. There's Beaumont Children's, there's Sparrow and Lansing, Hurley Children's in the Flint area, and then Helen DeVos Children's on the west side of the state in Grand Rapids. And we all have our own CMN markets. So we all have our own Extra Life programs, and people can choose our different hospitals. And it's even as local as somebody in LA could choose to fundraise for LA Children's. Or if someone, say, moved to LA from Detroit, they could choose to support Beaumont Children. So it's nice that you kind of have that flexibility there when it comes to Extra Life. So every market does their Extra Life program a little bit differently and their fundraising a little bit differently. But basically, what being a Children's Miracle Network hospital gives each hospital that is a part of the network the privilege to do is to fundraise through those mechanisms that Children's Miracle Network allows, which partially are programs like Extra Life, as well as corporate partnerships that are partners at the national level. Costco, for example, Speedway, Rite Aid are a couple examples of corporate partners that work with Children's Miracle Network, and then at the local level fundraise at the register for their children's hospital. So if you ever see that out in the world, the little balloons that you can donate and write your name on, that's Children Miracle Network hospitals, and that's also going to your local children's hospital based on where you are. That's just a little bit of background on like actually what CMN is. When Extra Lifers say that they're fundraising for Children's Miracle Network hospitals, that means it's coming in through this Extra Life program and trickling down then to their local children's hospital. Um, so at Beaumont Children's, the way that we disperse our funds is through a grant cycle. So every 6 months, we fundraise through programs like Extra Life, as well as other means of fundraising that I just mentioned. And then we basically have all of our pediatric departments are able to apply for grants through the foundation, essentially, which is where what our team is based in at the hospital. And they can apply for grants for anything they might need or desire for their department that's outside the scope of what their budget already would cover. So these are things like wraparound services at the hospital to help make kids and families' experiences a little better. These are like really high tech, expensive equipment that maybe we wouldn't have as many of without philanthropic funding, or we wouldn't have been able to get as soon as we can with philanthropic funding. So these are just things that kind of go above and beyond to help create the experience and the outcomes better for our kids that are being treated at Beaumont Children's. And what I love about Extra Life is every year I work with a committee of guild advisors who are leaders within our local Detroit Guild, and we vote for a item at the hospital that they want Extra Life to kind of champion for the year. So in the past, some examples of that have been neonatal ICU equipment for our premature babies. We've done MRI goggles, which are these really cool virtual reality goggles for kids to be able to go into an MRI and maybe not have to be sedated to go into an MRI machine. If they're really scared, they can instead watch a movie through these or play a game through these really awesome goggles. Last year, Extra Life funded Bike Day, which is a big program that Beaumont Children's has every year with our pediatric rehabilitation department. And we give out 100 free custom adaptive bikes every year to kids who are pediatric rehab patients who may be living with a disability and not able to ride a standard bike. So they're customized to them so they are actually able to ride a bike for possibly the first time in their life. And last year, Extra Life, just our Extra Lifers in the Detroit area supporting Beaumont Children's, raised $100,000 to help fund half of that program. That program costs Children's Miracle Network at Beaumont about $200,000 every year. And Extra Lifers were able to fund that program, half of that program, which is absolutely incredible. So this year, our Extra Life Guild advisors chose to support Child Life Services. We like to call Child Life Services sort of the best kept secret in children's hospitals. Essentially, Child Life Services is a team that most children's hospitals have, and at most children's hospitals are funded philanthropically because they aren't deemed maybe like clinically necessary, but they're very, very important teams at our hospitals. Essentially, at Beaumont Children's, it's a team of about 12 people, many of whom are child life specialists. These are specially trained therapists with a background in child development who work with kids and families in the hospital to help them cope with the experience of being in the hospital. So they will get referred to kids who maybe need a little bit of extra support during or before or even after a procedure. They run activities at the hospital, holiday parties, birthday activities, helping kids feel a little bit more normal when they're at the hospital. They do medical play to help explain to kids what their diagnoses might be. And just help them understand in a kid-friendly way what exactly is going on, so they're a little less scared. Their goal is to make healthcare settings a place that is less scary. So these kids that are in the hospital now turn into adults or don't turn into adults who are scared of healthcare settings, which we see way too often. So that's essentially the goal of that team. We have child life specialists placed all throughout our Royal Oak Hospital. We have one who's in the emergency room. We have one who deals with oncology and hematology. We have one on the general peds floor, all throughout the hospital. And also a part of that team is a music therapist who's on staff with the hospital, who works with kids to help use music as a form of coping, and skill building while they're in the hospital. We additionally have an art therapist on staff on that team who similarly works with art as a means of coping with difficult situations, having choice in certain situations where you might be in a situation where you don't have a lot of choice. Being able to do art can be really therapeutic. That team also runs a hospital school program, which in which we have a teacher on staff in the hospital that works with our kids who might be in the hospital for a long time or in and out of the hospital very frequently, who may be missing a lot of school. And this teacher works with the schools to help make sure that the kid is staying on track educationally, or that the school understands why they're not there. So they aren't reprimanded for not being at school. So they kind of help navigate that system, and they help tutor kids while they're in the hospital if they need to catch up on homework, things like that. Uh, Lastly, the last thing I'll mention that this team runs is our pet therapy program on the PEDS floor. So every day there's a different child life specialist who works with our pet therapy volunteers to bring our therapy dogs around for assisted therapy, help bring a little joy to kids rooms during the day. It's important that we have these child life specialists, again with that child development background, to conduct these visits, because you don't really know if a kid's there, what they're there for, or if they are scared of dogs. We don't want to assume that a kid would be excited to see a dog. So that child life therapist kind of uh, coordinates that and helps make sure that it's a good experience for our kids. I just said like so much. um, I've been talking for a really long time, so I'd be happy to answer any questions. But essentially, that is where the funding is going this year. So CMN funds that program entirely every year, all of their salaries, all of their programming costs. We spend about $500,000 every year on that program, and it's very important to us. And it's extremely impactful for kids and families at the hospital. And that is what Extra Life is supporting this year.
And it's all very good work that you guys are doing over there, and extremely commendable that you guys are putting this all together, that you've partnered up with the Extra Life program and uh, just all that sort of stuff. So fantastic work on your part.
Thank you. No, and fantastic work on your part. Really, we couldn't do this work that we do without our donors, and that includes to a great extent the Extra Life program. We're really grateful for the way the Extra Life program has grown in Detroit over the last 15 years. I can't believe this is the 15th year that Extra Life is happening. Um, and it's just grown every year, and we are incredibly grateful because those funds really do make a difference. Like I was saying, we receive these grant requests from our PEDS departments every 6 months, and every 6 months we grant that money out. So it comes in, it goes right back out to those things that are extras at the hospital, that help make it a better experience for everybody involved. So we are very grateful for Extra Life, and for anybody who is donating today, just know that your money is going to a very good cause.
Yes, exactly. It's here to help children, and quite frankly, I can't think of a better thing to, you know, donate some of your extra money toward if you're able to afford it. Spreading the word is also very important, and again, uh, I just look forward to making this a good experience for everybody, because it's for the kids. So let's do it for them. Hannah, thank you so much for explaining what this is all about here today.
Sure thing, and thank you so much for again participating in game day. And I hope you have a lot of fun. I hope that you take breaks when you need to. We do have a fun media kit actually that I can send you the link for, that has a bunch of BRB scenes on it that have Miracle Kids stories on them. So I can send that your way. But thank you so much, and best of luck today.
Oh, thank you so much, Hannah. And just to put a little emphasis on what Hannah has been saying here today, we do have two videos that I would like to show you right now that just further explain and demonstrate what this is all about. So have a look.
Does it sound good?
Yeah.
Yeah? Good. Is he healthy?
Yeah, I think he's hungry.
I get to be a positive light in what could be the darkest time in a family's life.
Got it.
Good job. You're a really good doctor.
It can be really scary, and it can be anxiety-provoking for families to be in hospital situations. They're worried for their child, they're scared, and child life coming into the room can kind of give a reprieve and an opportunity to help decrease that anxiety.
Simon was riding his bike home from a friend's house and was struck by a car. He suffered a head injury. They would come around with book carts and allow me to pick out a book for him for when he was awake or for me to read while he was asleep. They came in with visiting dogs and Miss Michigans, and they came into the room and they just spread a spirit.
Before the surgery, when I had an IV, I was really afraid to have it put in because I am really afraid of anything, including a needle. And they were able to calm me down enough to, get it in.
Child life is so inspiring, teaching kids and helping them get through procedures and get through things that they're scared of and see that sense of accomplishment that they have.
I'm just so grateful to work with such amazing people here at the hospital, and it's so amazing to be able to see the patients and families persevere when they're faced with such challenging situations.
It's very rewarding to know that we can help children and families help make their hospital experience a lot less scary.
Child Life came into my room and decorated it, and they brought me a giraffe stuffed animal, a pursed collar. They brought me toys to play with. They brought me books and movies.
Child Life is absolutely amazing. When we would come into clinic, Kayla would always be there. Kayla was our smiling face. Noah knew Kayla, so Noah was comfortable with Kayla being there. Anytime that they would do a port access, Kayla was in the room with us.
It's very rewarding. I think it's the best career ever. We're able to meet patients and families wherever they're at in their hospital stay at that moment and help make whatever they're facing at that moment less intimidating for them.
I do what I do because I really enjoy being able to prepare and support families and giving them the tools to best cope with their hospital experience. And hopefully that will lead to a positive experience while they're here in the hospital.
I have the best job in the entire world.
The soccer game. We both kicked the ball at the same time and both fell. I don't know how, but I landed on my side.
He had absolutely broken his collarbone. They put him in the brace. 6 to 8 weeks, he'll be good as new.
About a week after I got it off, my neck was shifting and we just knew something was not right.
He has the CT on Monday.
We got CT Wednesday.
Okay. The neurologist called Friday and said, "Where are you?" He goes, "I need you to turn around and I need you to take Connor to the emergency room at Royal Oak." He's like, "Do not pass go, do not collect $200, just drop what you're doing and go."
I had 8 holes drilled in my head.
It was terrifying. 2 of his vertebrae in his neck had twisted. Any more twisted and he would have been paralyzed and not been able to do anything from the neck down. You thought, oh, he's going to go home in a week and everything's going to go back to normal and he's going to be fine, when that absolutely was not the case. No.
I was in the hospital for 56 days, 2 months.
There was times where I was there for 36 hours straight. I'd be there at 9 o'clock in the morning until 3 in the afternoon when he would get there the following day.
The Child Life team helped with keeping me entertained and not bored out of my mind.
Multiple times every day, someone was in, bringing them books, dogs, basketball hoops to shoot on, things to keep him entertained. Anytime he went in for a CT scan.
So even in the places we couldn't be, the Child Life staff was there for him.
They came in my room one day and said, "How about we create something for your mom and dad?" I created a dinner for them, candles, I think I put a couple fake plants.
We were able to, for the first time, just take a minute and breathe and appreciate life.
I know I could still say it, but I wanted to show it, my emotion, like how I felt for them taking care of me.
He never once complained.
I don't know how.
I was able to really focus on the positive. Nurses, doctors, child life team, they always looked on the positive side, so I didn't worry about stuff.
We went in as a family of 4. Our family is huge now because of the amazing staff.
I'm doing a bunch of stuff. I'm saving up to buy a computer, doing track, possibly joining soccer. Things are looking up, that's for sure.
It's such an amazing honor and privilege to be a success story and to be able to give back and give hope.
Since I was helped so much in the hospital, I should give that help back and just spread the help.